Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to open house for 36th and Wooddale in St. Louis Park, a reconstruction project that we're working on this summer. Thanks for joining. A couple quick housekeeping items. The open house is being recorded, so I just wanted to make everybody aware of that, and we'll have it on the website to view in the future. If you have not registered via Zoom, could you put your contact information in the chat? That'll just help us keep track of who's here, but also if you include your email in that, we'll get you on the project mailing list, and you'll be able to get updates over the course of the summer as construction moves along. I think with that, we'll go around and have a couple intros with some of the project staff, and then I've got a presentation video that'll go over some of the staging and some things to expect during construction. And then we'll open it up to questions and answers. So at any time, if you've got a question, you could type it in the chat. We'll have folks monitoring that. Or at the end of the videos too, we'll just open it up. I'll start. My name's Tim Lampkin. I'm a principal transportation engineer with Fulton and Mink, helping the city out with this project through design and into construction this summer. Joe, you want to go?
Yep. Thanks, Tim. Joe Shamla, City of St. Louis Park Project Manager. I will be managing this project. I'm glad you were all able to attend. Thanks for joining us today. Tom Pecchia.
Tom Pecchia with City of St. Louis Park. I'm a project coordinator. I'll be working on the construction phasing out in the field during this project.
Madeline?
You wanna?
All right, yes. I am Madeline. Let me see if I can somehow share my screen. I've been having, or excuse me, just show myself. I'm Madeline. I'm with Fulton and Mink, and I will be helping out with the communications piece, especially over the summer during construction for this project.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to start a couple of videos right now. First one will be more project specific, and then when that one finishes up, I'll start the second one. But we will come back here in a second.
Welcome to the virtual open house for the 36th Street and Wooddale Avenue Improvements Project. This project will replace aging and undersized utilities.
Do you want to turn it up a little bit, Tim, if possible?
Need to prepare. The goal of the improvements is to add safe and reliable bicycle and pedestrian facilities throughout the corridor while safely accommodating vehicle traffic. In October of 2019, City Council approved preliminary design of 3 projects due to the connected system they create. The Monterey Drive, Beltline Boulevard, and 36th Street bikeways are part of the city's Connect the Park plan. Connect the Park is the city's 10-year capital improvement plan to add a comprehensive citywide network of bikeways, sidewalks, and trails that provides local and regional connectivity, improves safety and accessibility, and enhances overall community livability. Connect the Park is designed to create a system that provides sidewalks approximately every quarter mile and bikeways every half mile in order to improve pedestrian and bicycle connectivity throughout the community. 36th Street and Wooddale Avenue is the final piece of this 3-year plan. The preliminary layout for this project included a reduction in traffic lanes, addition of bike lanes, upgrading of pedestrian facilities, and replacement of the sanitary sewer. With the studies completed, we've better defined the limits and scope of the project. Construction will begin in the summer of 2022 and last until the fall. This project will reconstruct 36th Street from Alabama Avenue to the Highway 100 bridge and include new pedestrian and bicycle facilities, new utilities, and a new roadway surface. The project will also include a new roadway surface on Wooddale Avenue from 36th Street to the Highway 100 ramps. 36th Street will be reconstructed in 3 stages as shown by the different colors in this figure. Stage 1 consists of Wooddale Avenue and 36th Street from Alabama Avenue to east of Wooddale Avenue. Work for this section includes improved pedestrian and bicycle facilities, signal replacement, and pavement replacement. The Stage 1 detour for 36th Street is 36th Street westbound to Highway 7 and exiting off on Wooddale. The Stage 1 detour for Wooddale Avenue is Highway 100, Wooddale, or 36th Street onto Highway 100, exiting off at Wooddale, or taking Highway 7 to Wooddale. Access to Oxford Street from Wooddale Avenue will be maintained at all times. One-way access from southbound Wooddale to westbound 36th Street will also be maintained at all times. Stage 2 consists of 36th Street from east of Wooddale Avenue to west of Zenwood Avenue. Work for this section includes construction of a separated 2-way bikeway on the south side of the corridor. This will connect to a future bikeway planned west of the project as part of the Connect the Park plan. Work will also include full utility and pavement replacement. The Stage 2 detour for 36th Street is 36th Street westbound to Highway 7 and exiting off on Wooddale. The Stage 2 detour for Wooddale Avenue is Highway 100 or 36th Street onto Highway 100, then onto Highway 7 and exiting off at Wooddale. Zenwood Avenue will remain open to traffic at all times during stages 1 and 2. Stage 3 consists of 36th Street from west of Zenwood Avenue to the eastern project limits. Work for this section is the same as Stage 2, adding a separated 2-way bikeway and replacement of utilities and pavement. The Stage 3 detour for 36th Street is 36th Street westbound to Highway 7. Similar to Stage 2, the Stage 3 detour for Wooddale Avenue is Highway 100 or 36th Street onto Highway 100, then onto Highway 7 and exiting off at Wooddale. Yosemite Avenue will remain open to all traffic at all times during Stage 3. 2-way access to properties south of Zenwood from 36th Street will be provided except during the installation of underground utilities. Please visit the project website to send us any comments or questions regarding construction. There will also be an opportunity to discuss the project with city staff. We will have 2 live question and answer sessions via Zoom on Monday, February 7th from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and on Tuesday, February 15th from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you have specific questions or want to talk directly to the project team, please join us for either session. A link to register is on the project website. If you have additional questions, please contact the city's project manager, Joe Shamla. Thank you for your time and interest in this project.
All right, then next we're gonna show a video on not project specific, but generally what to expect during a construction project like this.
Construction is a key element in creating safe, sustainable, and beautiful communities. While there are many different types of construction projects, one cornerstone to maintaining city infrastructure is the full street reconstruction. This involves replacing underground utilities such as water mains, storm sewer, and sanitary sewer, as well as the gravel roadway base, curb, driveways, and pavement, and in some cases, sidewalks. While a full street reconstruction is unique to the project area, there are certain processes and methods that can be expected for each project. So, as a resident, what can you expect during construction? Typical construction process. Full street reconstruction typically follows this process: installing erosion control measures, removing pavement, replacing the underground utilities, roadway excavation, placing a new roadway base, installing curb, driveways, and sidewalks if included, paving, which can typically include more than one layer, turf establishment, and installing roadway striping and signage. During this process, the contractors typically work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Friday, with some Saturdays, depending on the project. During these working days, there will be noise, mud, dirt piles, dust, and other construction-related activities. While it isn't possible to mitigate all of these issues, the contractor will try to limit these disturbances as much as possible, including spraying the road to control dust, and filling in and grading muddy areas. Communication from the project team. Construction can be an inconvenience, but clear communication of impacts and what to expect can make the process much smoother. Be sure to look for the project website, newsletter, or email update sign-up information at the beginning of the project. This will be a general way to receive updates about construction. Specific impacts to the property, such as water shutoffs, driveway impacts, or others, will be communicated via direct mail or paper notices at your front door. So be on the lookout for these letters during construction. While it can be tempting to discuss the project with contractors' personnel, we encourage you to avoid doing so and direct your questions to designated project representatives. They are connected to the entire project team, are most informed about what is planned for the project, and can best provide you with the information that you need. Street access. Access to your street can vary during the construction process. When the contractor is digging in the street during utility work, the hole is often as wide as the street, and cars won't be able to pass. During this time, vehicles will have to find alternate routes. Utility trenches will be filled by the end of each workday. If it is a dead end with no other way out, we will work with you to maintain access, but we need your cooperation to communicate with us about this. When access through the construction zone is possible, it will be on dirt or temporary gravel roads and will be narrow, often one-way paths, and may be muddy after rainfall events. The contractor will work with emergency vehicles as needed to allow for access in emergency situations. Driveway access. Driveway access will vary during construction. Access to driveways will be intermittent and will be provided by temporary gravel ramps. You won't be able to access your driveways during the day when the contractor is digging right in front of it. And that may last for a few hours, several different times during construction. In addition, when the contractor is constructing the concrete curb and driveway pavement, you won't be able to access your driveway for up to 7 days while the concrete cures. Accommodations for special access for elderly or disabled residents may be possible, but these situations will be handled on a case-by-case basis. Please make arrangements to visit with the project team about this separately if you have a need. It may be possible to provide access accommodations for special occasions, such as a moving day, family celebrations, home improvement deliveries, and the like. No guarantees can be made that access will be available during the time period needed. If possible, it's best to avoid scheduling such events during the construction period and to communicate with the project staff well in advance if they can't be avoided. Temporary water systems. In order to provide water service to homes during water main construction, the contractor will install an above-grade pipe system constructed to drinking water standards. The pipes will lay on the surface and may run in rear yards to avoid obstructing driveways where possible. Where the pipes do need to cross driveways, a gravel ramp will be constructed to allow you to cross over the pipe. The pipe system will typically be connected to each home at an outside faucet. Since the pipes lay on top of the ground in the warm sun, you may notice an increase in water temperature at your faucets. Homeowners will receive a paper notice with more information regarding temporary water before the system is installed. Service impacts. Water service to your home may be interrupted periodically during construction. You will be given prior notice of any planned interruptions in water service. Planned interruptions will be limited in length to a few hours and will not occur in the mornings or evenings when water use is of higher demand. However, unplanned interruptions may occur due to accidents or emergency situations. On such occasions, we will do our best to notify you of when water service will be reestablished. Sewer service will typically remain uninterrupted throughout construction, except for emergency situations. Property impacts. Oftentimes, the contractor will need to dig behind the curb in the right-of-way during construction. The right-of-way is city-controlled property that you may currently be mowing and maintaining as part of your yard. While the right-of-way varies for each property, it typically extends to an area about 10 feet behind the curb or the back edge of the sidewalk. To avoid damage, homeowners are responsible for removing private features within the right-of-way, including sprinkler systems, invisible dog fences, or other private amenities prior to construction. Garbage, recycling, and mail. Garbage and recycling pickup will continue on its regular schedule. You should label your receptacles with your name and address and continue to put them out on pickup day as close as possible to where you normally would. If needed, the contractor will pick them up, move them to a convenient pickup location for the hauler, and return them to your property. Mail delivery will also continue through the project. If needed, temporary mailboxes will be installed in a location on a side street or at the edge of the project limits that is accessible for the mail carrier. Restoration. The contractor will restore turf areas impacted by construction activities. This typically involves placing dirt along with seed or sod. The contractor will generally be required to maintain sod for 30 days and maintain seed until it has reached 70% growth. After this, the homeowner will be responsible for the care of the new grass. Be sure to water frequently and raise your mower deck to avoid cutting the grass shorter than 3 inches during the first months to assure the best possible growth. Private utilities. Often, private utility companies such as natural gas, communications, and electrical utilities will also be working in the project area. While this work will not occur under the direction of the city, it's often necessary for the project. If you have questions about private utility construction, please contact the designated project representative, and they can get you the contact information for the various utility companies. End of construction. At the end of construction, the engineer will prepare a punch list of items that the contractor will need to address prior to receiving final payment from the city. After final payment, there is typically a correction period where the contractor will be required to address any defective work that is discovered. While it can often be tempting to explore the construction site, please stay well away from active construction zones and equipment. Obey traffic control signage, stay out of fenced-off areas, and never approach an open trench. Keep a close eye on children and remind them to stay away from the construction area. If you have a project safety concern, please contact the designated project representative immediately. We understand that living through a construction project can be inconvenient and frustrating. We appreciate your patience and encourage you to reach out to the project staff if you have questions or concerns at any time. While construction can be a little painful at times, it is a big part of creating a safe, sustainable, and beautiful community, and we're here to help you through the process.
So, thank you for listening to those 2 videos. Joe, anything to add before we, I guess, open it up for questions?
I mean, I think the main thing with this project is the sanitary sewer replacement. We have a sanitary sewer on 36th Street from Wooddale Avenue to the bridge. Thanks for pointing that out while I'm speaking here, Tim.
Yeah.
That sanitary sewer is 30 feet deep, up to 30 feet deep. While we're digging that is going to be very inconvenient for access. So that's why when we were going through the presentation, you've seen different detour plans. At times you'll be able to access, at all times you'll be able to access any of the businesses, but it will be a matter of which side that you'll be entering. Will you be entering off of 36th Street or will you be entering off of Wooddale Avenue? So there's definitely communication that needs to take place. And I mean, that's the biggest part of this project is the replacement of that sanitary. Besides that, I would say if you're not signed up for construction updates on our website, that is the easiest way to stay informed. We'll send out emails once a week, giving you updates on the project. At this point, probably every 2-3 weeks, you'll get an update. But once construction starts, it'll be every week. And that's probably the easiest way to understand how the traffic is moving and any detours that will be put in place before you get there. So, and at any time, if you have questions, please call us. We'll help you as best as we can. And yeah, I think from my perspective, we're ready for questions unless someone else has something to add.
Madeline, anything in the chat that I missed? Didn't see anything.
Not see anything in the chat. And just a reminder, if people do want us to sign them up for project updates, they can leave their email in the chat and we can sign you up for project updates that way as well.
One thing to mention on that is we will not spam you. So if you get project updates, that's the only thing they're going to get updates on are this project. You can sign up for any project within the city. So if you go in to sign up for updates, they'll give you the option to sign up for as many projects as you want. But this is very controlled and you will only receive updates for the projects that you request updates for. I think we're ready to open it up for questions. I just seen one in the chat come through.
What is the preliminary timeline on the stages? So we did lay out a construction schedule. I do need to make the caveat that it is somewhat in the contractor's hands. So we lay out what we think can be done. They can come back and propose something different. So at this point, it's Wooddale Avenue and the 36th Street intersection first, so that can be reopened while they're working on 36th Street. Give me a second. I should have had that in front of me, the actual timing of those two. Just a second. If there are any other questions, I can jump back to this one once I get this.
I'll just kind of add to what Tim is saying. Basically, we lay out the construction plan. We lay out each phase. We lay out how much time each phase should take based off of production rates. And our best laid plans sometimes are not what the contractors are comfortable building. So the contractor will come in and negotiate working in different areas. But then we still have the ability to say no to those changes. So we can either make them build it per the way we have requested, or if they have a way that they could build it faster or better, we can definitely go with that as well. So our best laid plans may not work out exactly how we're showing it at this point, but hopefully if it's not this way, it's actually better or faster.
Hello, this is Rita Mustafi. I'm artistic director of a nonprofit dance company, and we lease space on 5806 West 36th Street. So I believe that's in your red corridor. What kind of, or what's the timeline of working on there? Is it going to start anytime? It's going to affect our going in and out of our space, or what?
So we expect the small utilities will start first. So CenterPoint Energy has to replace their gas line through the corridor. We're expecting that to begin mid-April. We don't have any definite timeframes because it's all going to be weather dependent on whether or not it can start that early, but that is our hope. And then our construction will follow soon after that. But I believe the contract documents has the start of these projects at May 15th. So I would expect construction in this area around May 15th from a city perspective, but private utilities will be in there approximately April 15th.
Okay, so that means that you showed that video with the access to our space might be limited, right?
So you will have access. It's a matter of which side will you be accessing from
Okay.
36th Street, or will you be accessing from Wooddale? So
Okay.
one thing we can do to help businesses is as long as we know where your business is and the name of it, we can provide a map that you could send out to your clients that says, you know, during this time frame, we need you to access from 36th Street or Wooddale. And then when it flips, we can revise that map or just send you two at the beginning. And then you can send that to your clients. We're not going to do a lot of flip-flopping, but they will be accessing from one side and then they will access from the other. So there will be a transition in the middle of the project.
Great. That's very helpful. One other question I have, I know the owner of that building is talking to some developer to reconstruct or construct around it. I know I'm asking specific question, but is it okay to sit for a meeting, Zoom meeting or something to talk about which developer I should talk to or if any?
Can you repeat that question, please?
Yeah, so the owner of the building, that strip mall, is talking to some developers or developers to figure out what they want to do with that specific building. And obviously that affects us because we have a 5-year lease of that space. So I want to look for possibilities of how we are going to stay there or move where. You know, all kinds of questions are coming to our mind. So should I have a Zoom meeting with any one of you that you can guide us towards finding a different place if we have to move out
Yes.
of this? Okay,
So
great.
if you could send me your name and contact information or put it in the chat, unless if you
It's
put it in
there.
it.
I registered.
Okay. Yeah, if we got that, I can work with our community development team works with, we'll be working with the developer if they're building on that site. And then also we have another business person within the city that could probably help in locating a different space if the space that you have currently
Yeah.
will not be available.
Well,
So I
that
will
is
get
very,
you,
very helpful. Thank you.
I will get them in contact with you.
Great. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Does anybody have questions? What does the project coordinate with the Aldersgate project? So a question just came in. How does this project coordinate with the Aldersgate project? These are two separate projects. At this point, the Aldergate project is on some different timelines, but we will have to definitely, one thing that we do when there's construction out within our project area is we write into the specifications that there is a project occurring on this and that our contractor will have to coordinate access with their contractors. So that's one thing that we'll add to our specs on our project, but it really doesn't change much as far as the construction timing or phasing. But that is a great question.
So, I mean, maybe back to the timeline. So sorry about that. My computer was going nice and slow. So we're expecting Wooddale to be first, and that starts in May, like Joe was talking about, as does 36th Street. 36 needs to start at Wooddale and work to the east because of how the sanitary sewer is laid. So we're expecting that first stage of Wooddale to basically be May and June, potentially into July, and then the second stage July through September, roughly. But like Joe was saying, it's hard to nail down an exact date on some of those items when the contractor might have some better ideas and better ways that they need to stage it.
Does anyone else have any questions? Feel free to either, you can speak if you would. It's easier to just type a question. You can definitely just put it in the chat as well. I'll just bring up one thing since we're no questions at this point, but we have a construction coordinator on site at all times, and that was Tom Pecchia, who was introduced himself at the beginning of the meeting. Basically, when the contractor is on site, he is also on site. So if something comes up or if there's questions that need to be had and you need an answer quickly, you will have access to Tom's phone number. And otherwise, if it's something that can wait, definitely can call me. It's just if you need an immediate answer, we do have someone on site, basically if the contractor is working. So we don't expect any late hours that would impact, when people might be putting kids down to sleep. But there has been times where something breaks towards the end of the night and they're unable to get it repaired before then, and they have to get it repaired. So we don't plan to do that type of work, but there are emergency situations where that arises. Does anyone else have questions, comments, any type of feedback?
So the website's is a good spot if you've got any questions that you think of after we log off here today. Please shoot us an email. Somebody in the project team will get back to you as soon as we're able. But do want to, I guess, thank everybody for taking time this afternoon. We won't keep you here the whole hour if there aren't any questions.
I do appreciate everybody joining us today. Like Tim said, we are available. So if the thought crossed your mind, but you didn't think about it during question and answer today, just reach out to us. We'll get you an answer as soon as we can. And looking forward to starting this project here in the next couple months.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. This is the end of this session. And if you have any questions, please let us know. I appreciate everybody tuning in today. Have a great day.